Alright, hello everybody. We're going to talk about section 9.1, solving quadratic equations by factoring. And we've actually already done this, but we're going to try and bring out just a couple of extra facts that we need to know in order to make this a useful thing for us. So, first of all, our goal is to be able to solve an equation in standard form: ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And our steps are always these. Number one, we have to set the equation equal to 0 to take advantage of the factoring theorem. Second, we have to factor. And the third thing is we need to set each factor equal to 0 and solve for the variable. So let's just go through a couple of examples to remind ourselves how this all works. For example A, I've got x squared minus 2x equals 15, and in order to solve by factoring, I must set it equal to 0 by subtracting 15 from both sides. So I would write x squared minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. And so I would need to factor, and in this particular case we can factor pretty directly. We know that x must be the first term in each of the two binomial factors that we found, and we need to find two factors of negative 15 whose sum is negative 2. And the answer to that, of course, is negative 5 and positive 3. And so we put those inside our binomials. A quick check would tell us that x minus 5 times x plus 3 would be x squared minus 2x minus 15. And so we set each factor into equal to 0. So we set x minus 5 is equal to 0. We set x plus 3 equal to 0. Then we solve for x by addition. So x will equal 5 in this case, and x by subtraction would equal negative 3 in this case. And so these are our two solutions, 5 and negative 3. And of course, we should go through and check to make sure that these answers are correct. Well, let's try the other one though first, and maybe we'll come back. Our next one right here tells us that if we want to solve by factoring, well, it kind of looks like there's already some factoring going on, but it's not easy to set this equal to 0. So what we really have to do is just carry out all the operations and set the equation to 0. So I've got x minus 9 on my left-hand side, but on my right-hand side I should distribute to give myself x squared minus 5x. And then I'm going to, well, I guess I should set everything on the right-hand side and set the left-hand side equal to 0. So that means subtracting x from both sides, from the left and from the right, and then adding 9 to both sides, which is going to give us 0 equal to x squared minus 6x plus 9. So in this particular case, we know what's going to happen. We're going to end up with a perfect square trinomial. That is something of the form x minus 3 times itself. Now, one thing to recognize is that this factor repeats itself. So it's not necessary to write x equals 3 both times. As long as we know that x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 0, then we only have to worry about x minus 3 being equal to 0 to find the solution. And there is only one solution. In this case, that would be x equals 3. And that's our only solution in the solution set. Right? We don't always have to end up with two real solutions in one of these problems. We just have to be able to set it equal to 0 and solve. Now, of course, we would want to go back and check. We should. Again, I've skipped that step right here, but you really, especially if you're very unsure of your answer, need to do that. Okay, more in the next video.